Yo, peace and blessings, everybody. Gerald Hassan, the Children's Enlightening Minds Enterprise. What's up, Wolfpack? Still representing. Man, listen here. So I was having this thought about. I actually listened to this interview on the Breakfast Club today, and there's something that this couple had mentioned in regards to how their marriage lasts so long. And one of the things that they spoke about was mainly in the area of communication that sparked my talk for right now. And one thing that typically makes the relationship go down the drain is when the communication fails. A lot of times, what I've found from my journey is that a lot of people believe that they are very effective communicators, that they are communicators. And one of the contending things that I would say that makes that, I would say, argumentative in a sense, or debatable, is that a lot of times when we go into a discussion with someone, we enter it from a very selfish standpoint, and we don't go into the discussion or the argument or the debate to truly understand each other. And a lot of times we go in trying to defend ourselves, trying to defend our point, trying to defend the things that are being said about us or to us, that the whole intent behind the discussion goes down the drain. So, just as briefly as I can, I would like to extend out this. When we having these discussions, first of all, conflict resolution is totally a 100% mental thing. Anytime emotions become the influencing factor when you're trying to communicate with someone, whether it's based on your tone of voice, when you can't control that, when you can't control your body language, when you can't control your terminology, when you can't control the patience that you should have while the individual is talking. You see, I've listened to this video one time called The Art of Communication, and one thing that it told me that I embraced and I truly took as being something that I need to definitely work on for myself is the thing of having to correct someone when they're wrong or saying something that is incorrect while they're trying to say whatever they're trying to say. He said once you do that, then the discussion basically shifts, or the energy behind the discussion or the person's intent shifts. So what we need to do, from my understanding, one thing I say what I'm going to do is that I'm going to allow a person to fully get off what they want to say and try my best to remember what I want to say as a response to what they have to say. But more than anything, I want to listen to understand whether I forget it or not. And as I listen to understand everything that they say, making sure that I ask the right questions when given the opportunity to make sure that we're on the same page, to make sure I understood the words they use correctly, because that is another thing lost in communication is we sometimes think that we have the understanding of certain terminologies that are used in our communication, and it's not. So making sure that we understood each other correctly, because I mean, really, truly, the interpretation of words is a big factor. And the interpretation of the context of a sentence is a big factor. And now, just with my whole interest and value for words and communication today, I fully understand why, or what significance the comprehension aspect of a test truly played. Because the way one comprehends what's being said and how something is being said is very significant in the area or art of communication, I'd say. When discussing something with someone, understand this. If one is expressing a feeling or opinion or belief, that is not debatable. Just listen to understand. If a person expressed anything in regards to how they was offended or disrespected, the only thing I could say in response to that was that wasn't my intent to make you feel that way. My whole point was about what I said was this, that, another. I didn't mean to make you feel that way, and I apologize. But when an individual tries to tell another individual that they had no right to feel that way, that you shouldn't feel that way, or you stupid, that's crazy, or things of that nature, when we get to use opinionative terms or terms that are relative, you know, terms like you think too much or you putting too much into it, we have to understand that those are relative ideas. And I say that based on what I feel or have measured your way of thinking or your way of expressing by. You know, I may use, like for example, if I say individual will think too much, that's versus someone who may not think enough. You dig what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful of the kind of term we use when we addressing someone or when we are measuring what they're saying. It would be more useful in a conversation if we don't use anything of that sort, but listen to totally understand and embrace it and ask, better yet, what can I do differently? And see, if two people can share that same value for each other and the concerns that two people have for each other while having a conversation, then 9 times out of 10 you can come out of that conversation with proper resolution and in a better or more productive position that the two was in when they entered that conversation. I hope I'm making it clear, and I'm hoping I'm not confusing anyone, but this is really one of those pieces that are more helpful in a question and answer session opposed to more of a lecture type of session, because it has very fine components that can be complex when you're trying to address it in a general sense abroad, because different people have different ways of approaching it and different views and different concerns. However, what I found in general was that we all approach those things from a very selfish position, and we have to remember again that beliefs and feelings are undebatable. Only things that can be debatable are things that can be proven as facts and truths. And even those, in one sense or another, we have to understand that two people have to be standing on the same source of authority when you are trying to tell someone they're wrong or right about something. Again, this is a very complex discussion, but it doesn't have to be. God willing, one day we'll be in a more formal type of environment where we can do this in a different way and have this discussion really laid out and dealt with, because trust me, in the things that I say to you, I apply to myself. It doesn't mean I'm the best and perfect communicator, because I'm working too. Again, I've learned some things just in my own observation and study, because I am about self-evolution and being better every day in many areas. But again, when you're talking about a unit, two people have to both know that they're not perfect, and they both have to know that they can be better, and they can work on things in the way that they see it, process it, and communicate it or express it. So with that being said, this is what I would end this talk with, is that when you're having a discussion with someone or a debate of some sort, the objective has to be understanding. The objective has to be the correct understanding of each other. And then beyond that, resolution can be established. And the resolution has to be one that involves respect, admiration, and regard for each other and wherever each other stand. And sometimes the best resolution that two people can come up with is to go in two separate directions, because the understanding is that there cannot be an established reciprocated respect and regard for each other. And it has to be unselfishness when you're trying to have a healthy social relationship with anyone. Peace and blessings.